Hi, it's Sue Ann with Gravy Days again. Thanks for joining. Um, I've been thinking a lot about music the last couple of weeks for different reasons. And so I decided to tell you about my story. My mom taught me to love music when I was really little, and she played the piano a lot. She was super good at it. We watched music shows on TV. Lawrence Welk was not my favorite, but hey, it was music. That's what she loved, and that's what they watched. And that was okay with me. Then I realized that because she played the piano and was so good at it, I wanted to play the piano too. And so I started to take piano lessons, and I learned about classical music and composers and just a wealth of knowledge that happens when you take and love piano lessons, which I did. Um, then, when I was about 12 or 13 years old, my parents bought one of those portable stereos that have the speakers on the side that you can disengage from the main unit. And they said to me, okay, you can keep this in your room, but remember that it belongs to the family. And that if we ever want to use it for anything, we reserve the right to take it out of your room and use it. And I said, absolutely, that works for me. Well, that was a gold mine because that was about the age where I started to love popular music, and I began, here came the 45s and the LPs, the 33. Every bit of babysitting money that I could scrape together went to buy records, or maybe movies too. I went to a lot of movies. The funny thing about this was that my mom was excited about this stereo too. And I didn't realize how excited she was until one day she told me that she had ordered some records from Reader's Digest Music or something, I think it was. And so I thought, oh, that's cool. And good for her. So uh, I came home from school one day, and she had that stereo out in the living room on top of the piano, and it was all playing something. I couldn't quite make out what it was playing. It sounded a little strange. But I said to her, so Mom, what you got going on the stereo there? And she said, well, my Glenn Miller collection came today in the mail. And so I'm playing all of those records. I said, oh, that's so great. You know, she was super excited about this. And then I said, but you know, it sounds a little weird. She said, I said, I think you may have it on the wrong speed. And she said, oh, well, I thought it sounded a little fast. She thought that was funny. And of course, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I think fast forward is hilarious. And so I just helped her fix that and showed her how to find the right setting and all that, and went in my room and probably called all my friends and told them about how hilarious that was. But the thing I loved about it, and as I think about that moment in my life, I realized that I really admire my mother for branching out and trying something new. You know, she knew we had a stereo. She knew that there was music that she liked, and so she bought it. And she was just learning how to do it, but she wasn't afraid to learn, and I loved that. Um, these days, our music streaming services make oh gathering and organizing music so much easier. Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, Pandora, Apple Music. You can pay for premium or you can use it for free and see how you like it. And then if you don't like it, you don't like it. Right now, I'm using Spotify free, and there are ads between the songs that I like, but oh well. Uh, I'm not endorsing any of these particular services, but I just really do love them. I really do love the fact that we have access, such ready access to music that we've loved in the past and that we want to revisit, or new artists that we want to learn more about and listen to their music. And I have to tell you that there's something really heady about vaguely remembering a song way from back in the day, and you knew you liked it, but you can't, and you can remember some of the melody and maybe a few of the words, but that's all you can remember. And so if you just type that into a Google and say, say whatever the words are you can remember, really within seconds, it will come up with that song and you'll say, "Oh, that's it. That's the song. That's the one I love." And so you go to your streaming service and you find it and you like it and you add it to your playlist. That, for me, has been the most amazing thing ever about music in my life. Um, there are different things you can get on the streaming services, of course, podcasts and news programs and whatnot. But for me, it's all about the music. So, what you can do is you put, and if you've never done it, it's fun to do. You add all the music on there, you type it in, you find it, you add it to your playlist, and then you can create sublists, sub playlists, like maybe playlists for faith or religion, or because this is a sunny day and I feel happy, or I want to dance today, or Brahms or Mozart or whatever. It's all there. That's the amazing part. Um, so I was going to share with you a few songs that I loved that are still on my playlist. And I will admit that they might be embarrassing because some of them are very old, but I don't care. I'm kind of old too. So the first song that I will mention that is currently on my playlist is a song by The Doors, which was back, they were way back in 67, 68, Jim Morrison and The Doors. The song is Touch Me. And I still play this song when I want to dance. And suddenly, when I put it on and I hear the music begin, I am 16 years old in the gym on a Saturday night, and it just moves my feet and it moves my heart. I love it. So that's one of them. Then, about the time I went to college, I found different kinds of music in different genres, but I gravitated towards the soundtrack to Shaft. Now, this was interesting because I did not have a stereo in college, but somebody in our group did, in my group of roommates, they did. And so we all brought records or that we wanted to play. And it was fine. We just had to be careful and use the stereo correctly. Well, this soundtrack for Shaft had 2 LPs in the album. Oh man, it was so good. And I'd never seen the movie. I still haven't. But all I know is that it was a bluesy, jazzy funk with horns and strings, and it had everything. I just loved it. And so I would really, every cut of that album I have on my playlist now. And when it pops up, I think, oh, that is such a good song. It really resonates with me for whatever reason. But when I was in college, my roommates would come home, and if Shaft was on, they'd say, "Well, Sue Ann's home," because that's really all I played. I just really loved it. More as a mature adult, I got into smooth jazz. I like the Rippingtons, Joyce Cooling, jazz piano by Brian Culbertson. Uh, and this doesn't even begin to touch what I've got on the playlist. And I know many people who have thousands of songs on their playlist, and you can do that. If it speaks to you, if it's something that you remember from years ago, put it on a playlist. But the thing is that you don't have to. If it's a piece of music that has bad memories for you or whatever, you don't have to do that. You can totally tailor it to how you want it. And before I end here, I would like to just give a shout out to a related issue. It is beneath the stature of people of our age in life to play a video game and love it. Now, I don't have a lot of video games that I play. I know people that do, even older ones like me. But I love the feel of the controller in my hand, the rush of earning points, which really don't mean anything. And it's not every day, all day long. But so what if you like it? It's a way to connect with your children and grandchildren through video games and music. So don't feel bad if you have a video game you like or you want to play every now and then, because it really adds to the joy. And that's what we're talking about, right? Does this make me feel good? Is this a good thing? Yeah, probably not if you played it all day, every day, but sometimes it feels really good to do that. Well, I've shared with you what's on my playlist, as embarrassing as that is. So, what's on your playlist? I'd like to know. And if you don't have one, why not?